Hi everyone. I would like to discuss about alternating current, seventh chapter of 12th CBSE. Okay, you have heard about alternating current and direct current many times in your lower classes, or even in second P also you have come across these terms many times. Today we will discuss about the difference between AC and DC. What is AC? Let us see. And AC is shown by the wave. Okay, graphically, when you represent AC and DC, it is the graph which is used to represent AC. Here, red graph, it indicates that voltage VDC, that is voltage of DC, and IAC, I stands for current, anyway you know that, and current is indicated by the black line. It is not a rule that always it should be represented by red line and the other one should be with the black line. There is no rule, just to distinguish I have used it. Okay, and similarly DC, in case of direct current, it will be a straight line. It will be usually a straight line, not usually, always it is a straight line. VDC, voltage of direct current, is usually it will be above the current graph. That is, electrical current will be always, usually it will be below the voltage. Okay, similarly here also you can see that voltage is above the electric current, which indicates that usually voltage will be more than the magnitude of voltage will be more than the magnitude of electric current. Here the differences are, magnitude is constant in case of DC. Magnitude doesn't increase or decrease over a period of time. Here you can see in the graph also, it is a straight line indicating that there is no fluctuation in the current right now. Whereas here you can see that in case of alternating current, the value decreases once it goes to the negative side, again it comes to the positive side. There is increase and decrease in the values, right? Once the alternating current increases, then again it decreases, which means here the magnitude changes. Whereas in this case, magnitude doesn't change, it is a straight line indicating a fixed value. Neither voltage nor current changes here under direct current, whereas under alternating current they both change. Similarly, the direction. Here direction also doesn't change. It is in the upper side, so it remains throughout in the same direction. Whereas here you can see once it goes to the positive direction, then it comes to the negative, then again goes to the positive direction. So like this, direction changes constantly. Okay, and of course here the in case of AC alternating current, polarity of the alternating current changes. Polarity of the alternating current changes, whereas in DC polarity doesn't change. Then you know that AC, where is it used? Any idea? AC is nothing but alternating current, which is used in our household circuits. All our household circuits are run with the help of alternating current. What is DC then? DC is nothing but direct current, which is stored in the batteries. It may be your watch cell, or it may be the batteries, torch battery, or it may be remote batteries, toys. Usually, kids which kids use a lot of toys, right? Electric toys. They use DC there, that is battery. Electricity is stored there in the form of chemical energy. One more thing is DC, the production cost of DC is more than the alternating current, because chemicals have to be used here in case of DC, whereas for alternating current chemicals are not required. Okay, then here in case of DC, frequency is 0, whereas in AC frequency is not 0, it will be around 50 or 60. Some fixed value will be there for alternating current, frequency of the alternating current, whereas for DC it doesn't have any fixed frequency. It frequency is 0 there. And alternating current can be shown with the either with the wave like graph, or with the square shaped means you can see here. Just I will draw one rough figure. Okay, if you draw a line here, so like this also you can show the alternating current. Either it can be in the form of wave, or it can be in the form of square, or it can also be in the form of like this also it can be shown. Whereas DC will always be a straight line. So these are few differences between alternating current and direct current. Okay, we have small derivation which has to be done next. You can just go through it, look at the differences between AC and DC. And I hope you know that very well. Alternating current or voltage, potential difference across alternating current terminals of the source, that is potential difference across the terminals of the source in case of alternating current is indicated by this symbol, wave symbol. Okay, and the AC voltage, that is V is equal to V naught sine omega t. You know that it is the equation of potential difference. Okay, what does V naught indicate? Where V naught indicate maximum value of potential difference, or it can also be called as amplitude. Keep it in mind, we can also call it as amplitude, where V naught can be called as amplitude. Then what does omega indicate here? What does omega indicate? Omega is about angular frequency, where W is equal to 2 pi into F. That is the formula. W indicates 2 pi F, where F is nothing but frequency. Frequency is equal to 1 by T. So in place of frequency, we have written 1 by T. So W can also be equal to 2 by T. Okay. One more small thing I would like to tell here. Whenever you get equation like this, V is equal to V naught sine omega t, this indicate that it is alternating current. Okay, in case of direct current, you don't get any functions like this. In case of alternating current, you will get this equation. Okay, just keep it in mind. Then let us go to the derivation part now. In the derivation part, we have one circuit which is connected to the AC source, and it has one resistor in it. Okay, using Kirchhoff loop rule, we have sigma E is equal to 0. What does sigma E indicate here? Sigma E is nothing but it is the sum of differences in the voltage is equal to 0. You know that, just go through Kirchhoff's loop rule, you will understand that. But we know that sigma E is same as sigma I into R, because E is nothing but voltage here, where voltage is equal to V is equal to I into R. So V is equal to I into R. That's what is written here. That is IR is equal to voltage, where voltage is nothing but V naught into sine omega t. What is V naught? V naught is the maximum value of potential difference. Okay, or it can also be written as Vm. Okay, V naught or Vm can also be written there. IR is equal to V naught into sine omega t. So because voltage is equal to sum of voltage is equal to sum of I into R, because voltage is equal to I into R, because of that. So V is equal to IR, sum of voltage is equal to sum of I into R. So IR is equal to voltage, which is equal to voltage is nothing but V naught sine omega t, as it is written here. Now IR is equal to V naught sine omega t. That equation will be considered. Next, you can just look at it. We will go through the derivation part. We have equation here, IR is equal to V naught into sine omega t, right? Now I is equal to, suppose you transfer R to the other side, which goes to the denominator, so it becomes V naught by R. I is equal to V naught by R into sine omega t. What is V naught by R? V by R is nothing but I, that is current. So you will enter here I naught into sine omega t. Okay, and also we will draw graph which is required for this. Here the upper line indicates the voltage and the lower graph indicates the current. Okay, you can see here it is the t by t by 2, that is half of the time period. It is the total time period for one full wave. Time required for one full wave is t. Okay, then again half wave, from here to here it is half wave, from here to this point it is one complete wave. You can observe that here at the same time current and voltage both are maximum at a time, right? Even current and voltage start decreasing at the same time and they both meet at the same time. Again they go to the negative direction at a time. That also happens at the same time. They meet at the same time. Again they increase, decrease. Everything happens at the same time, right? Now increase in voltage and current, decrease in voltage and current happening at the same time. Uh, you know that here when the current, suppose if it is 10 ampere, if it goes to the other side it is minus 10 ampere. So actually the, if you observe here, some of the instantaneous current will be zero here, because one is positive, the other one is negative, which is in the opposite direction. So if it is plus 10, minus 10 will be in the opposite direction, so it get cancelled. But actually even though some of the instantaneous current is zero, because it moves in positive and negative direction. If it is, as I said, if it is 5 ampere, minus 5 ampere in the opposite direction, so plus 5 and minus 5 gets cancelled. Even though it is zero, power consumed or dissipated cannot be equal to zero. Right now the appliance would have worked something. Appliances are working constantly in one or other houses right now. So power dissipated cannot be zero. What is the formula to calculate power dissipated? Power dissipated is equal to I square into R, right? And we indicate this average power dissipated using this bracket. This symbol indicates that it is the average power, or P bar, that also indicates average power dissipated. Okay, average power dissipated by this symbol or P bar, which is equal to, they both mean the same, that is average power dissipated. Okay, which is equal to average power dissipated, that is I square into R. I hope you have understood till here properly. And one more thing is, here current and voltage are in phase. They are in the same direction, and that is why they are in phase. Okay. Next, we will continue the derivation part. Yes, you can look at this, where average power P is equal to I square into R. That is a formula which you had even in grade 10 also. Whereas I square is nothing but I naught square into sine square 2 omega t into R. Right now, because I is equal to I naught into sine 2 omega t. That is the equation. So I square is equal to I naught square into sine square 2 omega t into R as it is. Okay. Now I naught square and R, they are taken out. I naught square and R are taken out. Sine square 2 omega t remains inside the average symbol. So now we are finding out the average value of sine square 2 omega t. But sine square 2 omega t is nothing but 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. Right now, you know trigonometric functions. We have relation which says sine square 2 omega t is equal to 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. Again, this I naught square remains outside the bracket itself. Now we will just split the term here. That is 1 by 2, it is separated. Again minus cos 2 omega t by 2, minus cos 2 omega t by 2. So 2 is dividing both 1 and cos 2 omega 2, cos 2 omega t. Right now, that is 1 by 2 minus cos 2 omega t by 2, minus cos 2 omega t by 2. Right? So I I naught square r remains as it is. Now you are multiplying to the each term. I naught square into half gives you I naught square by 2. I naught square r into cos 2 omega t, that is I naught square r by 2 is there now, that comes here. I naught square r into cos 2 omega t by 2, that is I naught square r into cos 2 omega t by 2. Since I naught square and 2 are taken out, that remains outside the bracket, only cos 2 omega t remains inside. Or you can also understand that this half is multiplied with I naught square r and it is written here. Again this 2 also brought outside and it is written in the denominator of I naught square. So 2 is also brought outside, so it comes in the denominator of I naught square r. Okay. Now I naught square r by 2 into average of cos 2 omega t. How to find out the average of cos 2 omega t? For which we need to do the integration here. Okay, cos 2 omega t. Average value of a function ft over time t is calculated by average of f of t, which is equal to 1 by t into integration 0 to t of function f of t with respect to dt. Okay, now the function is cos 2 omega t, so average of cos 2 omega t has to be found out. That's what we have written here, which is equal to 1 by t, that remains as it is, integration of 0 to t cos 2 omega t into dt. Cos 2 omega t into dt. What is the integration of cos 2 omega t into dt? Integration of cos 2 omega t into dt is nothing but sine 2 omega t by 2 omega, right now. So cos 2 omega t, when integrated, you get sine 2 omega t by 2 omega, and limit remains as it is 0 to t. Okay, then you apply the limit and bring out 2 omega outside. So when you bring it out, it combines with the t, that becomes 2t into omega, and sine 2 omega t, when you apply the limit, in place of t you will substitute capital T, that is upper limit, then again 0, that is sine 2 omega 0. 0 into anything is 0, so whole quantity becomes 0. When you apply the upper limit, sine 2 omega capital T minus sine 2 omega 0. Sine 2 omega 0 is 0 itself, because 0 into anything is 0. So on substituting lower limit you get 0, on substituting upper limit you get capital T in place of small t. Okay, and minus 2 t omega into sine 2 into, where omega is 2 pi by t, omega is 2 pi by t into t, that remains as it is, minus 0. Okay, and which is equal to minus 1 by 2t omega into sine 4 pi. Sine 4 pi is how much? 0, right? So sine 4 pi is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0 only. 0 into anything is 0, so it is 0. What happened now? The average value of cos 2 omega t, average value of cos 2 omega t is 0, right? Average value of cos 2 omega t is 0. So that 0 has to be written here. When you substitute that in place of cos 2 omega t, it becomes 0. That is why, as average value of cos 2 omega t is 0, as we have calculated here, in the next step we write only I naught square r by 2. Okay. So now what do you do? You remember formula of DC current. DC, that is direct current. Power dissipated in case of DC is I square R. But in case of AC, you got it as I naught square R by 2. We want to represent even it in the form of I square R itself. So what we will do? We will write I naught by root 2, because root 2 square is 2 itself. I have not changed anything. Instead of writing it as 2, I wrote it as root 2, so that it is squared together. Root 2 square is 2. I naught square is I naught square itself, correct? So I naught square by root 2 square, that is I naught square by 2 into r. What is I naught by root 2 whole square? I take this as IRMS. Okay, IRMS. RMS is nothing but root mean square. IRMS is nothing but root mean square. I have represented this I naught square by 2 in the form of I square IRMS square because I wanted it to be in the form of P is equal to I square into R. P is equal to I square into R. I wanted it to be present in that form. That is why it is done. Which means I square RMS is nothing but I square RMS is nothing but I naught square by root 2 whole square. That is IRMS is nothing but I naught by root 2. I naught by root 2 is nothing but IRMS. Okay. So RMS is nothing but root mean square. So we have derived the whole part now. Okay. This is about the derivation, very important derivation. Pay a little bit attention and practice it well. Okay. You can just look at it. Here IRMS is nothing but it is the quantity of DC that would produce same amount of power dissipation as that of AC. That is IRMS is nothing but it is the quantity of DC that would produce power dissipation as that of AC. Okay, it is just equivalent. Just I will write the relation also now. Yes, we have come to the end of this derivation part. IRMS is equal to I naught by root 2. We discussed already. Similarly, VRMS, voltage root mean square value, is equal to V naught by root 2. Same like I that is current root mean square value is equal to I naught by root 2. Similarly, V root mean square value is equal to V naught by root 2. Just I wanted to tell you that point which I told you already. P is equal to I naught by root 2 whole square into R, where it is the amount of current that would produce power loss as that of AC when you talk about DC. Okay, it is the expression obtained by AC. Here IRMS is nothing but it is the amount of current required for DC to produce this much power dissipation. Here suppose power dissipation is 10 watt. Okay, and resistance is 2. I consider it as 2. 2 into how much is 10? 2 into 5 is 10. That is, this is the value that indicates 5 here. Similarly, here IRMS, in case of DC, here 5 ampere of current with 2 ohm of resistance would together produce 10 watt of power dissipation. Okay, that is the meaning of this, just for your information. Okay, here in case if this value indicate 5 and the second value resistance indicate 2, 2 5s are 10. Similarly, in case of DC, IRMS will be 5 ampere, that is current. DC direct current will be 5 ampere to produce equal amount of power dissipation. IRMS is nothing but it is that value which direct current needs to produce equivalent power dissipation. Okay, hope you have understood. I'll wind up the topic now. Bye bye, take care.